Today we are doing the verses 15 and 16 from the chapter number 2. Verse number 15 from chapter number 2. Anybody wants to read these words?
May I, Prabhu?
Yeah.
Yam hina vyathayante iti purushar sabha sama dukkha sukham dhiram so amritatvaya kalpate. Translation also, Prabhu.
Yes, please.
O best among men, Arjuna, the person who is not disturbed by happiness and distress and is steady in both is certainly eligible for liberation. Thank you, Prabhu.
All right. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Yamhina vyatayantyete purusham purusharshabah samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. Lord Krishna is explaining about the person who is eligible for liberation. So it is said, so Lord Krishna is referring to Arjuna as Purusharshabha, referring to Krishna, to Arjuna as Purusharshabha. But actually, Purusharshabha or Purushottama or Narottama or Rishabhadeva is actually the title of Krishna. So because he is the best among, all the Purushas. He's the Purushottama. Isn't it? Yes, and because Arjuna is this pure devotee, he's calling him Purusharshabha. Okay? And okay, so what is the qualification for getting liberated? The qualification for liberation is Tama Dukkha Sukham Dhiram. It's a very important qualification. One who is not disturbed by happiness or distress. So the one who is not disturbed by happiness and distress, both alike, is called as Dhira. And particularly in the Varnashrama system, this refers to the sannyasa order of life. Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, and sannyasa. Sannyasa is the fourth stage of life, the renounced order of life. So somebody who adopts the sannyasa order of life, obviously there's going to be a lot of difficulties. The difficulties are like, first of all, they have to cut the family relationships. It's almost impossible to cut. To give up the connection of wife and children is almost impossible because it's given in the Srimad Bhagavatam that it is so difficult to cut the relationship with the wife, particularly the children who are speaking in very sweet, faltering language, particularly one's own daughter. How can one forget, these relationships? Correct? So it's not so easy. So, but if anybody is able to actually tolerate the difficulty of separation, Prabhupada is writing here that surely his path to spiritual realization is complete. Similarly, in the discharge of the duties, Arjuna should not have thought about family relationships. So there are two types, right? One thing is like completely karma sannyasa, like, becoming a sannyasi is one thing. And then without any attachment to the result, without any attachment to the fruit of the activity. If one is doing his own duty, that is also equivalent to sannyasa. Actually, in fact, Krishna says the real sannyasa is not to simply renounce the work, but to renounce the result of the action or the fruit of the action. Here, the fruit of the action is the what is going to happen to the outcome of the war, or what's going to happen to my relatives is like the fruit of the action. So Krishna is saying, in the discharge of your duty, you should be not actually thinking about all of this, right? It's so in the discharge of the duties of the kshatriya, Arjuna is expected to tolerate the difficulties. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkada agamapaino nitya tam titikshvasva bharata. Titikshvasva, the previous verse. Just like how there is the appearance and disappearance of the winter and the summer seasons, the happiness and the distress are appearing, they're non-permanent, but one is supposed to learn to tolerate them without being disturbed and do his own duty. Here Arjuna is supposed to fight. That is his duty. He's supposed to fight. So here again, Prabhupada is giving a very beautiful example. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya, he took sannyas. Do you know at what age did he take? Anybody? Devotees? How old is he? How old was he when he took sannyas?
24 years old, Prabhuji, 24 years.
24.
24-year-old. Was 24-year-old. He had a dependent young wife as well as old mother. Actually, it is impossible for somebody to severe relationship like that. Dependent mother, old mother, and young wife. Impossible for anybody to do it. But Lord Chaitanya took sannyas at the age of 24. Why? Why did he take? Why did Lord Chaitanya take sannyas? Anybody knows? Why did he take?
Krishna
What motivated him? Yeah.
Because people were not taking him seriously, so he took sannyas so that people will take him seriously.
Correct. Actually, when Lord Chaitanya had come, when he was giving the message of Godhead, some people were not able to take it in the right way. For example, one day what happened was his students, right? He used to be teaching in a Sanskrit, in a Sanskrit school. He used to be a teacher there. And he was so full of Krishna prema. One day, instead of chanting the names of Krishna, he started to chant the names of the gopis. So his students came and objected and said that, you cannot chant the names of the gopis. You are supposed to chant the names of Krishna. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in bhava, was in complete ecstasy. So his ecstasy was disturbed when these people were putting some logics like this. They did not understand the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started to chase them with a stick. And then these children, they mistook Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and started to offend him. They all started to talk that, see how he is coming and eating us, we are Brahmanas. And then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought that, I have come to deliver all the people of this universe. But if they are going to be doing offenses like this, they can never be delivered. But if I take sannyas, everybody will pay respect to me as a sannyasi. And as a result of that, they will all be delivered. And therefore, he decided to take sannyas, despite of having a young wife and old mother. For a higher cause, he took sannyas. And he explains to his mother that, generally sons, they bring a lot of gold, they bring a lot of money, but your son is going to do this. What I'm going to do is, I bought Krishna Prema Dhana, the treasure of Krishna Prema. And I've got so much of treasure with me. I would like to distribute this. I would like to give it to everybody. So that's the reason why I want to take sannyas. It's not only for me, it's for everybody. So for the sake of all of us, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas. For the higher cause, he took sannyas. So of course, it is not easy for him, right? Because of course he's Lord Chaitanya, but we have to understand that, his dependent, young wife, old mother, but he did it, right, for a higher cause. So this is the way of achieving the liberation from material bondage. All right. Let's go to the next verse. Who wants to read the next verse? 2.16. Nagato vidyate bhav.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
नास्तो विद्यते भावो न भावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टो नन्तस्तव अन्योस्तव दर्शिभिः. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Those who are seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, the soul, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of both. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Bhatt. Nasate vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayor api drishtontas tu arayos tattva darshibihi. Those who are the seers of the truth have concluded that of the non-existent, the material body, there is no endurance, and of the eternal, there is no change. This they have concluded by studying the nature of the both. So there are two things, okay? A simple thing. Okay, if you want to draw a painting, what is it that you need? Can anybody say what do you need? If you want to draw a painting, what is it that you need?
Paper
A
and
book,
a pencil.
book,
Paper.
pencil, pen, eraser, colors.
Correct. You need colors, and then you need the canvas, right? You need the paint, and you need the canvas. So this canvas is something which doesn't change. So there is something which doesn't change, and there is something which changes, the colors, right? And you combine these two, comes the painting. Similarly, if you see a movie, if you go to a movie theater, which is on a screen, which is projected on a screen, what is the fixed thing and what is the thing that is moving?
Screen is
projector is
fixed and the
fixed.
picture is moving, Prabhuji.
Yeah, the screen is fixed, upon which the picture, the projected images are moving. Correct. So that means, behind whatever seems to be moving, there's something that is moving. That is there's 6 transformations that the body undergoes, right? The body is taking birth, it grows, it stays still for some time, and then it reproduces, and then it shrinks, and then it dies. 6 transformations of the body. And beyond this body, which has the 6 transformations, there is the soul, which has no change, right? Like I said, beyond the light that is projected, there is the screen which doesn't change. That thing which doesn't change is called as the soul, and the thing that which changes is called as the body. And the seers of the truth, they study both. Okay, somebody who's watching, if you want to study painting, you're going to study about the canvas, and you're going to study about the colors. So you have to study about the picture being projected and the screen that is being used, both. When you study the nature of both and contrast, you'll be able to appreciate the nature of the soul. Okay, so in the Ishopanishad also it is said, Vidya cha avidyancha yashta dvesho bhavayam saha avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyayamritam ashnute. So this is Ishopanishad, mantra number 11. Mantra number 11. All right. So what this translates to, Prabhupada saying, only one can learn the process of nescience and that of the transcendental knowledge side by side can transcend the influence of the repeated birth and death and enjoy the full blessings of immortality. So we have to look at Vidya and Avidya both. Only when you know the process of what is Avidya, Avidya is sense gratification. Okay, let me enjoy. Vidya is Krishna consciousness. Let me make the senses of Krishna enjoy. This is transcendental knowledge. If we understand that, then we can stop the influence of the repeated birth and death. So we have to understand both. We have to understand about the soul. We have to understand about the activities from the soul perspective. The soul perspective activities, the original Sanatana Dharma means to act as a soul to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That and the other activity is like bodily platform, like the sense gratification, right? Like that. So the spirit soul is permanent. Lord Krishna is explaining about the permanency of the spirit soul. The body and the mind, they are changing. You see, the body, we've got a child's body, then adult's body, then old person's body, and then tata dehantara prapti. Afterwards, the body is changing. So mind, body, intelligence, all of that, they're also changing. Okay, they're also, the subtle body is also changing. But there is something which is not changing, which is Atma. So the spirit and the matter. So the seers of the truth, they understand both. So the first instruction by Krishna is to understand the difference between what is moving and what is not moving. What is the body and what is the soul? We have to understand this part. If we don't understand this, it's like it's the basic knowledge. Okay, if we don't understand the fundamental knowledge that this body is not permanent, and beyond this there is the permanent soul, which is going to be transmigrating to another body. We cannot understand this basic fact. It is like getting the formula wrong in a mathematical problem. We used to do mathematical problems, right? You start with a formula and then you start working that problem. After doing a lot of series of steps, at the end, if the first formula is wrong, then the entire problem is wrong. So similarly, if we don't have this fundamental understanding, we're trying to do so many things in our life. If we don't have this fundamental understanding, and we may achieve everything in the life, but all of that is actually insignificant if we don't understand this part, that our body is impermanent. And I am not the body, I am the soul. Soul is the permanent nature. I belong to the superior nature, the soul's nature. This is what we have to understand. What is the difference between energy and the energetic? So this clarity of knowledge is very essential. And Bhagavad Gita dispels this ignorance. Bhagavad Gita gives enlightenment to us. Krishna explains further about the different types of energy, the marginal energy, the energy, external energy, and Lord Krishna's internal energy, and all of that. Nevertheless, what we have to understand is, the seers of the truth have to understand about the two things, that the non-permanent or the non-existent, the material body, which is moving. There's no endurance for that. The eternal soul, for that there is no change. Okay, this is how we have to do a contrast study. And then we have to understand that, what are we doing finally? Finally, I'm working so hard for this body, which is going to be going away, right? It's like this. One day there was one person who just who started to completely burn his. First, he constructed a very beautiful house. He spent a lot of money, constructed a very nice house. He did a lot of interiors. He filled it with very beautiful furniture and all paraphernalia, and he started to burn it down. Then all his neighbors started to ask him, have you gone mad? Why are you doing this? Such a beautiful house. Why are you burning it down? Then he asked a very profound and deep question. He said, this body, at the end of the day, we are going to be burning it down in the funeral. Yes or no? Yes. Then why are you decorating this body, which is actually supposed to be burnt in a funeral pyre? At the end, anyways, you're going to be burning it. So why are you decorating this dead body? So are we not, spending so much time for the decoration of this dead body? Why don't you realize that, our body is actually a dead body? One day it has to be burnt off, right? But we are decorating it so much, isn't it? So this is the idea. We have to understand that this body is not permanent. Okay. So instead of decorating ourselves, it's better if we can decorate Krishna. Then that becomes seva. So that will be the perfect use of our body. We want to use our hands, we have to use it for the abhisheka of the Lord, or for the cleaning of the temple of the Lord. If you want to use the legs, use it to go to the temple of the Lord. If you want to use the eyes, use it to see the Lord. Ears to hear about Lord. Nose to smell the tulsi offered to the Lord. Like that. Right? Taste to taste the offering given to the Lord. This is how we have to engage all our senses in Krishna consciousness. Okay? Hare Krishna devotees. Dhanyavad pranams. Anybody wants to add anything here to this verse?
Prabhuji, even Krishna is a supreme renunciant. Just wanted to say that.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah, he has got the 6 opulences. One of the opulences is Vairagya. Jnana Vairagyayaschaiva Sharnabhagamitingana. Yeah, Krishna is completely is full of renunciation also. He's fully renounced in the sense that he's teaching us this karma sannyasa yoga. He's teaching us how to be a karma sannyasa, how to act without attachment to the result. First of all, he acts like that. He says that I act this way. That is what I'm teaching you. If you act like me, then you will also be detached. You will also be getting the nature like me. If you want to get the nature like me, you act like me. Because Krishna acts like that in every incarnation. It doesn't matter what incarnation he is in. He always acts with complete detachment. Right? Yes, Matthew, thank you.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Prabhu.
please, please. Yeah, please.
Just read a quote about Guru Maharaj a few days back. Guru Maharaj had quoted. I won't be able to give you the exact words. Guru Maharaj says there is no place for laziness and lethargy in spiritual life. And if you still have sense gratification, and you will surely go to higher planets, to the heavenly planets, and you may enjoy for thousands and hundreds of years. But ultimately, when you come down, you will miss the golden period now in Kali Yuga. And if you come down, maybe you would have come in the faggot of Kali Yuga, or and then you can imagine what it is. How dreadful it will be, and how much. If now we are finding it so strong, how much of difficulty we will have at that time to be in Krishna consciousness. There is no room for laziness and lethargy. Take this opportunity, cash it, and please start your. This was the gist of it. I'm not exact. The exact words are not there. So, like as Sri Hari Prabhu said, this thing is to dovetail it to Krishna consciousness. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.